A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rodin Mugema, and I am here to bring you heartbreaking news from Vatican, a moment that marks the end of a historic era for the Catholic Church and the world. Of course, Cardinal Kevin Farrell, the Vatican's Camerlengo official, confirmed the death of Pope Francis on Monday morning, marking the beginning of a solemn transition period in the Catholic Church. The Pope died at the age of 88 following a series of health complications, including pneumonia and respiratory failure. Pope Francis was born in Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires in Argentina. He served as the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church and was the first from Latin America. Known for his populist approach and advocacy for the marginalized, Francis eschewed traditional Pope extravagance and became a group. The Camerlengo, or the Chamberlain, the Vatican official tasked with overseeing the day-to-day operations of the whole see during sede vacante, the period between the death of a pope and the election of a successor. Irish-born Farrell, his aged 77, who was appointed to the role in 2019, is the highest-ranking American in the Vatican. As Camerlengo, Farrell is responsible for confirming the Pope's death and conducting traditional rituals such as sealing the Pope apartment and overseeing the destruction of the Pope's fisherman's ring. During the interregnum, he holds administrative authority but is restricted from making doctrinal decisions. How is the Pope's funeral prepared? Of course, following the death of a pontiff, a 9-day mourning period known as Novembralis is observed, during which daily mass and rites are held. The Pope's body lies in a state in St. Peter's Basilica for public viewing, with the funeral traditionally occurring 4 to 6 days after death. Pope Francis requested to be buried at Rome's Basilica, St. Mary Major, in a simple wooden casket. During this mourning period, the College of Cardinals assumes administrative duties and prepares for the Pope's funeral and the conclave that follows. Cardinal Farrell will coordinate these efforts while ensuring that ceremonial and procedural transition are upheld. As of Monday, the Vatican had not confirmed a date for Pope Francis' funeral. Conclaves to elect a new pope generally begin 15 to 20 days after Pope's death to allow eligible cardinals from across the world to arrive in Rome. Voting occurs within the Sistine Chapel, with all cardinals under the age of 80 eligible to participate. A 2/3 majority is required for election, and the results of each ballot are signaled by smoke, white for a successful vote and black for the inconclusive round. The Dean of the College of Cardinals will eventually step onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to announce the Habemus Papam. We have a pope, marking the beginning of a new chapter in church leadership. The process is secretive and campaigning is strictly prohibited. Electors are cut off from outside communication for the duration of the conclave. Francis' death closes a transformative era for the church. He was noted for his decision to live in the Vatican guest house rather than the apostolic palace, his preference for modest transportation, and his compassionate approach to controversial issues. In one notable exchange with journalists early of his papacy, Francis famously responded to a question about gay priests by asking, if a person is gay and seeks God has good will, who am I to judge? May the soul of His Holiness Pope Francis rest in eternal peace. This is MRL TV, where truth meets perspectives. Stay informed, stay engaged, and above all, stay critical. A very good afternoon.